Hi everyone, welcome back to another video, and I know this is probably the video that a lot of you have been most anticipating and waiting for, but today we're looking at none other than a new gas blowback, because you know that's what I seem to do a lot of now. It's the more exciting stuff, isn't it? First of all, I've had to zoom the camera out a little bit, so you're going to see a messy bench. It's just the way it is. It's a workspace. It's not a pretty fucking studio where everything's perfect and this, that and the other. This space is used a lot, so we're looking, and I can just about get it in frame here, at none other than the VFC M249 gas blowback support gun, the first of its kind. And I've been playing around with this. The reason I haven't done the review straight away is because I had it all apart and I was modelling up some bits. So I was thinking about doing like a heavy recoil kit, and of course there's hop components which I was working on as well. Whether those come to fruition, not too sure, because just like anything I seem to release gets met with trolls and, you know, criticism from people that have never bought anything from me. But no, maybe when my headspace is a little bit better and a little bit less angry, I might look at the options again. So in the box you get the gun itself, you do get an instruction manual, you get a sort of lopped off the top M4 VFC magazine, which is literally just a gas vessel. So that comes with the rifle as well. You get a 100 round or 175 round, or no one could make up their mind on how many rounds you're meant to put in these things. Everyone says different things. What I go off is the numbers, 175. Going off how hard it is to load this with BBs, there's no way I'd ever recommend putting that many in it. I would probably stick around the 100 to 125 mark, but we'll get more on that in just a moment. You also get a loading adapter, which is like a plunger, like the Maruis come with. Like this is actually pretty well made. It's got like a little O-ring at the top, so as you draw it up to fill it up with BBs, it stays in place. You know, I don't know if you can hear that. So you can put it up to the top, lock it in place, fill it up with BBs. I do think it holds them at the bottom as well, but not the easiest. I mean, they want you to fill that up like 3 or 4 times, pushing it down, and it is a pain in the arse. But again, we'll get more to that in a minute. What is it? It's a gas blowback. It's a support gun. It's the first of its kind. It's completely made out of metal, barring the handguard and of course the stock and the grip. There may be other material components in there that aren't metal, but for the most part it is. This gun is extremely light. I don't have any scales to hand that I could weigh this with, but to put it into perspective, this is an Ares M4X class, and I'd say this weighs more than the 249 does. That's how low weight it is. What else can we compare it to that you're going to have an idea? Marui AKM, that's going to be tons heavier. So the thing is, they've made it light, and it's good, and there's a two like prong approach that I'm going to go with. This is great. It's light. It's made out of lightweight materials. Means carrying such a big gun isn't going to be a hindrance to you. You can use it on the field. You're not getting super tired carrying it, which a lot of M249s coming in really chunky. You know, your arms are done at the end of the day. We're not soldiers. We play toy soldiers. We LARP. We're not, you know, many of us, including myself, are not in our peak fitness range, shall we say. So the fact that it's light and made out of still strong enough materials is a plus. The downside to that is these things are so freaking expensive in the UK that for the expense of what it costs, the fact that this isn't steel like pisses me off, because I've paid a ton of, I bought this, I haven't been given it. The amount you spend on this and then to get it, and it's not actually realistic in that aspect. You know, if it was cheaper, and you know, you go onto the Hong Kong websites, they're around about the £500 to £500 mark. That's GBP. Not sure what the US dollars is. That is what I would say. 500, 550 quid. That is about the right price for this, considering what you get. This was bought in the UK, so this is a UK spec, or you know, UK spec gun, whatever you want to call it. It was purchased from a UK distributor, and the gun, and I did buy a box mag as well, because I thought, you know, there's not much point running it off that M4 mag, so I bought the box mag as well. So this with the box mag, I'll have to double check, but I think it was in the range of like 850 to 870. So around about the £900 mark for this, and that's trade. That is a wholesale price. Retail price, I'm not sure what people are retailing it for in the UK, but I imagine that's going to be a lot more. So you're looking about £1,000. Do I think this is worth that amount of money? Absolutely not. Do I regret buying it? No, I don't regret buying it at all. The fact of the matter is, you're going to pay that amount of money, that £1,000, which is it's a lot of money for a lot of people. And then you get the box mag, which you've paid extra for, and you can't actually install the box mag because the tube that comes on here is actually too long. So I've had to trim this down by about 20 mil because otherwise I just could not get it in the gun, because as you're trying to push this in, it wouldn't compress enough to get it under and into the gun. Mine could have been longer than everybody else's. It could be a QC thing. I really don't know. But I thought it needs it as a box mag. So first of all, let's go over one of the reasons why I bought this. Now, it goes back to why I bought the VFC MP5. It's like the manual of arms, the experience you get from it. I love the fact that this is very realistic. It's like an open bolt style design. It's the closest way I can sort of describe it. So you charge the bolt to the rear, and as you fire it, it lets it forward and it cocks it again. So this I like, because if you ever watch combat footage or anything like that, they're running 249s. You know, the gun stops, they'll always rack it, push it forward, pop the top, whether they're reloading it or whatnot, or clearing a blockage or whatever. And that's what I like about it. This gun is very easy to HPA, and I think HPA would be the way to go if you're thinking of running it as a dedicated primary. So if you're going to be running this a lot, you're going to be shooting a lot of rounds. These gas magazines, even though they're meant to be very good, are probably not going to be the best. So this gun is actually really easy to HPA. You can actually just shove a 1/8 MPT fitting straight into where this little feed tube is that goes into the magazine. So you can pull that out, you can put a 1/8 MPT HPA fitting in there, and you can run a HPA line straight out of that, and it's HPA. You haven't got to go buy no fancy gizmos, no conversion kits, no dodgy valves to put in the bottom of the box mag. And that's great. You know, it's really easy. So if you're running it a lot, which you're probably going to be, that's great. You know, that's what you want to do. You don't want to be shooting it full auto, loads of enemies are advancing, and all of a sudden you get called down and it ruins your day. So that's probably something that I will look at doing. Even though for the most part, when I've been testing it, it's been running really, really well on green gas. I can actually just demonstrate that for you here. So we've got the... What I will say with the manual of arms of this is, if this gun is loaded, always have the safety on. Regardless, is if you think it's got one in the chamber, it hasn't. If you're in an area, put the safety on. When you're ready to sort of manipulate the support gun, safety off. You must have that off when you're charging the bolt and everything like that. First thing you do before you touch anything else on the gun is you make sure that bolt's locked to the rear. And if you do that for every time you want to manipulate this gun and everything like that, you'll have a good time, because letting the bolt forward, trying to shove the safety on and charging it, there's loads of ways that I've seen online on YouTube. There's loads of ways that you can break this gun, or they're afraid that you're going to break it. So all I'll say, before you do anything to the rifle, always make sure the bolt's charged to the rear. Once it's charged to the rear, you can put the safety on if it makes you feel any better. We've actually got a latch here, so I can push this down and pull this latch to the rear there, and without the magazine in it, allow us to dry fire the gun. So the gun is ready to go, bolts to the rear, putting the gas mag in. Sometimes that can be a bit of a pain. Like I'd say 60% of the time it goes straight in, the other 40% it does fight you. This is a cold magazine, and but I can guarantee you this is going to do better than the Rattler did. And the safety's off, and here we go. This is the rate of fire. And it's rapid. It really is fast firing. There was a bit of gas spitting out there. The magazine is cold. I have been playing around with it. We can shove the box mag on, and to do this, it is a bit awkward, so you have to kind of do both at the same time. So you have to sort of like angle this down and slide them both in. Like I say, I had to trim the hose down because I literally just could not get this in the gun. But even with that trimmed, it still is a pain in the arse. So once you've got that in, I can lock that up so that's locked in. Make sure the magazine's clipped in. There we go. And then you've got a little latch on here which you put the dummy rounds on. And what this will do is, as you're firing it, as I'll demonstrate here, it slightly shakes them. Nothing too light. It's meant to mimic it a bit like the Marui Mark 46. I think the Marui Mark 46 does it a lot better. This just like rattles where the Marui Mark 46 does this, and it kind of gives that illusion of the rounds feeding in. But never mind, you've got a saw, you've got a 249, you're going to want some kind of extra realism from it, so it does run better on the drum mag compared to the M4 mag. But then again, if you want consistency, we're going to have to HPA it. The only problem I have with HPAing it, and this is what I want to get my point across on, is right, it's very easy to HPA. We take this out, we take the fitting out, we put a 1/8 MPT fitting in, and we're good to go. You run a tank on your back, happy days. Much full auto fun for you on the field, and you're going to have an absolute blast. But what that does is it makes the box mag completely irrelevant. So once you've HPA tapped it through that sort of section here, and I'll take this off just to show you again. Once you've done that, the box mag or any mag are completely irrelevant. So again, this is so fucking awkward. So you've got your HPA line in there, you're ready to go, and that's how you'd run the gun. There's literally no reason to have that on the gun. So you're stripping away or anything like that. If you want it to look realistic, what you could do, I suppose, is take out the gas tank, just have the fake rounds in and run it like that, and it would just look the part. I would probably do that with their little the little nutsack mags that they're doing. There are people working on kits. I can't remember if it was AirTac that are working on a kit where it runs a HPA line in, and then you use the box mag to actually feed the rounds, which again, great. You know, you've got limitless ammo there. You just wind in the mag, it's dumping the rounds in. But that's getting rid of one of the main reasons why I bought this gun. So, and I'll demonstrate this to you right now. So we're going to put the gas magazine back in, charge that back. This is the magazine, and it goes in the top like so, and then you push it and it locks into place. Now what I will tell you is, when you're doing this, you want to take the magazine and just push it back up towards the top cover, because even though it latches, mine especially doesn't latch in properly on the spring. So what I would do is, you could do this as one fluid motion, put it in the gun, push up with your thumb, and it's there ready to go. So we've been shooting our rounds, we've had 100 whatever rounds in there, we're coming to the end, right, we're empty. And this is where the realism part comes with it. The gun's empty, manual of arms, we charge the bolt back to the rear, we pop the top cover, we take our mag out, put it in our gear, we pull out a fresh mag, we push it back in, push the top cover down, and that is how, you know, not including putting real rounds in. Obviously we've got limitations with it being airsoft, but so yeah, that whole reloading process is the reason why I bought this. The rate of fire is great. It's got no blowback, you know, sort of throwing you about to it whatsoever. There's nothing there at all like your normal gas blowbacks. So there's no thrill like with your normal gas blowbacks, but you know, I can run around, it shoots really fast, it stops, I pop the top cover over, and that's where having a support gun, it takes you longer to reload the magazine. Realism-ish. So if we do HPA tap it, it removes the need for the box mag, it's just empty space. What could we put? A can of Coke in there and a chocolate bar maybe? That might be an idea, packed lunch. So I think that's probably the route I will go. I'll run a HPA line through here, which is just really easy. You know, quality of game you know, modification, and then just get the little mag when they come out with it and have that there like that, because I'm going to shorten it anyway. Perhaps put the rail on, para stock, shorten it down a little bit, put a dot sight on there, something like that. And I need to get a load of these, and this is the other issue with this rifle. You cannot get these anywhere. They were selling them in packs of 3. I did hear people have had a few issues with these magazines, but I can't currently run this on the field because I'm in one of them, and the way it reloads, let me show you. So we've got our little doodad here. I'm going to find the speed loader. So we get our speed loader. We fill it up. We push this down onto the top of the magazine like so. And then and I'm always conscious that I'm going to smack my hand. It doesn't always want to line up perfectly. So what they want you to do is do that like 3 or 4 times, which is a pain in the backside. I did think about doing some kind of an adapter for it. You can see there they haven't quite fed perfectly stacked, which could be another design flaw of these magazines. Let's try and put some more in. Let's go as if we're doing a game. So these are 0.3s that I'm loading up into here. So round number 2. And you have to hold that adapter there with one hand. You have to, otherwise it's gonna throw the magazine everywhere, so you haven't stabilised it. So as you come down, all you end up doing is smacking yourself in the fingers. So how many have we done there? We've done about 80-ish. I think this does 40 at a time. So that's 80 rounds. There we go. I'll try not holding it. Does take some force, and that is roughly 120 to 125 rounds, and that mag is solid. Can we see where it didn't double stack? I think it actually sorted itself out, so we're okay. So let's chrono it, let's see what it's doing. I imagine this is going to be stupid low FPS because every VFC gas blowback I've had to date has had one of those silly restrictors in the nozzle. So gas mag in. Put the magazine in, push the magazine back up, lock down, we're locked to the rear. I'm going to put the safety on while I put my specs on. And let's grab the chrono. So we've got 0.3 gram BBs, and this is a UK spec gun, just keep that in mind. And it chronos at 0.5 joules. What a surprise. So yeah, imagine you didn't know anything about VFC gas blowback guns and you haven't experienced any of their other replicas, and you go and drop a grand on this, maybe even more, because you know some shops do have more markup than others. I need to let that forward. Let's pop that back down. So let's charge to the rear, and then we're gonna get the bolt forward. So yeah, you imagine you spent £1,000 to £1,200 on this, which honestly, guys, it's not worth that amount of money. 500 to 600 quid, yeah, maybe, but it's not like a peak performing rifle for that amount of money. So yeah, you'll see here, hopefully, we've got a little blockage in the nozzle. Oh, whatever could that be? And again, if you're new to VFC gas blowbacks, you ain't gonna have a clue about anything to do with this. So is it a 2? It's not a 2. Is it a 2.5? Is a 2.5. So now we can pull this restrictor out, much like the MPX and the VFC MP5. Little grub screw with a slot cut in it, so it's choking the gas. And then we're going to see what we get. You watch this be like overpowered or something now. Slot this back in. It is, what I will say is, it is really easy to take apart and put back together. Because I struggle to put this in, just lining everything up. I did this earlier and it went straight in. There we go. Guide rod and spring. That locks into place. Pull the stock down. I really love this takedown pin. I've seen a lot of people struggle, but mine seems to be pretty much bob on. And we'll close the cover. And what we're going to do, we're going to charge the bolt to the rear. And put the gas mag in. Bear in mind, I haven't set the hop on this, so I really don't know where that's set. Put the mag back in. Safety's on, and we're ready to go. So, same 0.3 gram BBs. We haven't changed anything at all. And let's see what we get now. So I started off at 1.5 joules, and then it settled down to 1.339. So, right, you've gone and spent $1,000 or 1,200 quid, and I'll keep repeating myself, on a gas blowback 249. Now you get it out of the box, it's stupidly low powered, you can't use it at 0.5 joules, it's just not going to happen. So you go, right, okay, I'll take the restrictor out. So you take the restrictor out, and now your gun's hot. How annoyed would you be? I mean, yeah, I work with these things all the time, so I'm used to all this, you know, all this bullshit. But there is a very simple mod I think you can do to the valve in here and just space it forward just a little bit, which drops the power down to about 1 joule, which is probably something that I'm going to have to do unless they do a valve for it. So, yeah, out the box, this thing is really, it's unusable. The other thing we could probably do is drill out the restrictor. That is another option. So you could drill a hole in that and just keep stepping it up to get the right power. That might be an easier way to go about it. So we'll think about that as well. So yeah, it's an amazing gun. They've done a really good job with it. I love the fact, now I haven't gone over everything. There's a billion videos out there. If you want the same humdrum, this is how you take the barrel out. This is how you do this. It's not normally my style. But I'm going to tell you about some of the things that I've witnessed. You know, if you know an M249, you know the bipod stored underneath the handguard, nothing special there. It's really lightweight. It's got a nice fast rate of fire in it. It's easy to HPA. These are all pluses. I like the manual of arms and how you manipulate it and reload and learn all that before you get one. What I don't like about it is it's stupidly low powered. You take the restrictor out, it's stupidly high powered. There's no in between. And the box mag, as good as it is and it looks, most people are going to HPA tap it, and then that box mag becomes completely irrelevant. So there we are. Thanks very much for tuning into this, and I've tried not to be negative about this. Thanks for tuning into this video on the 249. If you want to see more videos on this, the best way you can do that is comment down below what you want me to see me do. I am working on stuff. Whether that stuff comes to fruition or not too sure yet, but we'll see how it goes. Thank you as always for following, and if you haven't already, you can subscribe to the channel with the button down below. Loads of gas blowback content at the moment. I'm not solely gas blowback content, you know, sort of aimed, for want of a better word. You know, I'm not orientated towards gas blowbacks. It's just at the moment there's a lot of cool, exciting gas blowback stuff coming out. I am trying to get my hands on a HK53. There's also, I've just ordered a Lambda Defense GHM9, which is a B&T replica. That should be pretty cool. I did really get excited for the Rattler, but it really was an absolute turd. You know, it was just unusable. So that's had to go back. But yeah, I digress. Thank you for tuning into this video. If you want to see more, comment down below. And for me and Bench, as always, we'll see you in the next video.